And here we go. So we're going to start out in Marin's house, and it looks like we got a few seconds delay here. We will try and get that synced up here. About looks like about 6.5 seconds or so there. So we'll get it synced up. Meanwhile, we are talking to Marin. She's the person who saved us, and we're gonna get protection from this lovely gentleman who knows her, called Taryn. So we got our shield. Now we have to go find something to slice things with.
I sure hope he knows her. He's her dad.
Yes. So we're gonna go to the beach and see if we can find that thing that we slice things with.
A butter knife, obviously.
Clearly a butter knife, yeah.
Yeah, but the shield is actually pretty good in this game, but unfortunately, being a Zelda game, the game would not even let us get started without a sword. Thankfully, we know where to get one, and with any luck, we can also use the sword to skip one of our biggest adversaries, unneeded text.
Yes, it's a very, one of the things you're going to see about this speedrun is you can skip a lot of things you don't want to see, which is usually the case with a lot of speedruns, actually. We're going to see cutscenes get eaten up by things later. We're going to see intentional attempts to skip text you don't want to see, and just speed things up that much quicker. As we celebrate picking up our butter knife.
Oh. So I think I might want to check your mech again, but I can pick it up here, though. So you can see them holding out their shield while they're trying to grab rupees. That is actually because the game treats them as separate hitboxes, so that rupee flies up from an enemy, lands on both hitboxes, you get 2 rupees. That's right. We are duplicating money here. The FBI is already on their way. They're trying to get 10. Matt having much better rupee luck here, so Xander gonna have to do some extra farming. Matt already done, getting his 10 rupees on his way to the shop. Xander, unfortunately, a lot less lucky. How ironic. Even with all those rupees, Matt is embracing a life of crime. But there is a reason for that, don't worry. We're actually needing those 10 rupees for something else. But we do need 3 things from the shop, so...
I see we were stealing things again.
Yep. I've been trying to break them of the habit for a long time, just no good.
Yeah, I'm not sure what why they turned to a life of crime like this, but oh well.
I think it's because the shopkeeper's price gouging on the shovel and bow. When's the last time you paid $200 for a shovel?
It's a really good shovel, come on.
That's debatable.
That bow is definitely worth every penny. Man, it's 980 rupees. No, that's ridiculous.
Alright, but here's the real reason we need those 10 rupees. Matt, already at the trendy game, Xander about to head there. This is where we get the magic powder. Oh, gnome! Oh, this is really bad.
That is horrible bad.
Oh, Matt,
it looked like to me he might have missed, and I didn't want to say because he would know better than me, but it looked to me like he had mistimed it. That is a bad situation because he has to get those 10 rupees again.
Yeah, just a tiny bit too late on that. Unfortunately, we do need that powder. So this is going to be a real big time loss for Matt. Xander already springing ahead with the powder.
If it was possible to skip that one room, we would skip it. But he has to have that powder to get through it.
It's true. Meanwhile, Xander ducking into Madame Meow Meow's house. Oh my goodness! Doing a YOLO trick there with a bomb trigger, which I was about to get ready to talk about, but he beat me to it. Bombs are one of the most magical things in this game, because here's a fun thing about bombs. The game only really expects you to have 1 on screen at a time, but if you can sneak 2 within 4 frames, like on a screen transition, the game doesn't know where to put that second bomb, and it causes weird things with memory. In this case, events will trigger on whichever screen you're on. Right there, you saw him do it again to cause the Terran turning back into from a raccoon to a human cutscene. Not having to do that whole thing with the powder or having him bounce around the room. Bomb triggers are incredibly useful throughout the run. You're going to be seeing us use them a lot.
So I'm keeping an eye on PhantomMat. He just got his 10th rupee. He's going to try to do the shop purchase again.
I mean, we were watching Xander's screen. He just YOLO'd those pits. That's an extremely difficult thing to do.
He doesn't need to take these kind of chances because if he's watching the stream and he knows that PhantomMat missed the powder the first time, but he may not be watching, he may not know that. He thinks he has to do this to keep pace.
No, nobody has to do that trick. It's incredibly inconsistent. I think Xander might just be having a little bit of fun, putting on a little bit of show for the fans.
Either way, PhantomMat has his powder. He's going to try his desperate best to catch up now. Hi, Bow Wow.
So Matt on his way to the Dungeon 1 key, Xander already in Dungeon 1, couple of rooms away from picking up the dungeon item, which is one of the most useful items in the game. Right here at the beginning, the Rock's Feather lets you jump in a 2D Zelda. You ever wondered why you're not allowed to jump in 2D Zelda? Let the Rock's Feather show you why.
Yeah, this is a good demonstration of why jumping in 2D Zelda is generally not a thing. Like that heart right there is the first indication that, hey, there's going to be things you're going to have to jump to reach. And it's like, oh, we get to jump in this game? Cool. This is going to be broken.
I think the biggest problem, honestly, is that the developers never intend you to jump more than a single tile gap with the Rock's Feather, but you can jump diagonally and over 2 tile gaps, so...
Yeah, they didn't expect intrepid gamers to actually break the game.
Speaking of which, there's another thing the Rock's Feather lets you do. If you're clipped into a wall, you jump into the wall and away from it. The game looks at you and says, yeah, you're probably 1 level higher up, and it lets you jump down even though you never were actually up. That's called super jumping. It's a trick that lets you jump over entire obstacles and skip large parts of dungeons. And you're going to see, we're going to be doing it in pretty much every single dungeon.
And there's proof why the bow is absolutely overpowered in this game and why players like to steal it.
Yeah, boss health values are not calculated for having the bow this early on. It's a late game item. But straight up though, Moldorm is one of the most challenging bosses in the game, and it just throws it right at you here at Dungeon 1. Thankfully, Xander hitting that tail a few times, not getting knocked into the pit.
That's one of the bosses that in a close race in the first dungeon can lead someone into an early lead. I should say a lead, not the lead. As we pick up our first instrument. Now, this instrument we have to listen to the cutscene for, watch the cutscene for, so you are going to see this. In the future, we're going to try to skip this, if we can.
Yeah, you always see the cello no matter what, and if everything goes smoothly, that's the only time we'll hear an instrument play.
To be honest, I like hearing the drums once in a while.
I like the marimba music myself.
Ah. And the Rock's Feather for PhantomMat? Yep.
Alright, Xander's going to be on his way to head to Dungeon 2 now, but first we have to do a little bit of fun stuff in the village here, which I mean, be an adult and ignore the cries of children. Well done, Xander.
Help! Help!
Not now, kids. No. Link is busy.
I'm busy. Have a good day, kids.
So they're here to report that the village friend, Bow Wow, the dog, who you may have seen on the screen with the 2-door house, has been kidnapped. Thankfully, Link is a civic-minded individual on his way to rescue Bow Wow as we speak, and Bow Wow will be our companion for the rest of the game.
Yeah, this is no joke. The game did not, developers, I don't believe, intended you to have Bow Wow for the rest of the game, but this game is broken in so many ways that it is possible to have Bow Wow as your companion for the rest of the game.
Yeah, humorously, I actually figured this out a couple years back, that the way it hard blocks you is if you try to go do Dungeon 3 with Bow Wow, you can't get into Canalet Castle because Bow Wow will fight with the monkey, but Canalet Castle isn't really an issue in the speedrun, so... Oh no, Xander! Accidentally tinking King Moblin before it hits the wall, so he didn't get the stun animation, having to go for an extra charge.
Compared to the loss that PhantomMat had having to redo the rubies, that was a minor time loss. He's still well ahead at this point. So as long as he doesn't make too many of those kinds of mistakes, he should still be in good shape. We'll see, though, as he gets Bow Wow and PhantomMat gets his first instrument.
Oh yeah, but this race is far from over. There's so much time that can still be gained or lost from either of them.
And there was our heart piece of shame. We'll see that again a couple more times, I'm sure. Bow Wow, are you hungry? Please, eat something.
Bow Wow's always hungry.
Please.
There we go.
Eat something, Bow Wow. Thank you.
Alright, welcome to Dungeon 2. You're going to see Xander do something interesting here. He needs the powder in the next room, but he's going to get rid of all the remaining powder aside from the 2 he needs. The reason for that is that he will be going to get the mushroom after he's done in Dungeon 2, but you can't get the mushroom if you have powder, so you have to get rid of all the powder first.
Okay, he pushes the switch, and he's going to start working his way through here. Now, it's worth knowing that we're not going to finish this dungeon while we're here. We're just here for an item right now. We're not going to actually finish while we're here.
That's right. It's actually faster to finish Dungeon 2 later. It'll become obvious why when we get later on. I kind of want to leave it as a little bit as a fun surprise for everybody. In the meantime, though, you are also seeing something that was... You're also seeing Xander skip treasure chest cutscenes using the save and quit menu. Save and quit menu is just one of many ways we can skip text in this game, like Cyclone said earlier.
Yeah, there's many, many broken ways to do this. It's gonna be fun when we actually see Bowser eating, or I mean Bow Wow eating cutscenes later. I didn't know Bowser was in this game. Why did I say that?
I mean, he's everywhere.
Yeah, clearly.
He's like an executive producer in every first-party Nintendo game, didn't you know?
Well, you know he is the president now, right?
I mean, yeah.
Different Bowser, but you know, it counts.
Bowser is as Bowser does.
So, Xander is done here. He's going to go and travel outside the swamp the way you're not supposed to go in, except he flipped over everything. So now he's going to exit into the forest. There's the mushroom.
Alright, he tried saving quitting a little bit too early. The mushroom is a little bit finicky. If you save and quit too early, you will not actually keep it. So he did a little bit of an extra buffer there. Now he's on his way to set a warp point. This category is called Warpless, but not in the way you'd think. This game does have a built-in warp system, but you have to see them for them to activate. Although, speaking of the category name, Cyclone, what exactly do we mean by Warpless?
Basically, you don't have any wrong warps. That's the simple way to put it. So if you go in a situation where you wrong warp to another screen, that kills your cat. That kills the run. It's a simple way to put it, I would say.
Yeah, it's a little bit more nuanced than that, though. But we'll come back to that later on. Don't worry.
Oh, yep.
Well done from Xander, skipping the heart piece of shame.
Yeah, you do not want the heart piece of shame. A, it slows you down, and B, you don't need it.
And C, everybody in the community collectively shakes their heads at you.
Yeah, I'd be probably collectively shaking that.
Alright, so we mentioned this before, but now on his way to Dungeon 3, Xander is going to actually not be going to Candlelit Castle. Thankfully, the mushroom is useful beyond just being turned into powder. It lets you do hilarious things with holes, as is to say, not fall into them, which will let us skip the entire side quest at Candlelit Castle and dealing with Richard. Just like that, mashing the mushroom over the hole, Link does not fall into it, you save and quit, and it lets you transition, despite the fact you heard Link fall.
So this lets you skip a whole, I don't know, 15-20 minute set of side quests that you normally have to do to get in here.
Yeah, it's a significant time save. And just like that, out of the maze.
Warps out. Yeah, he's out.
Yeah, humorous fact there. You saw him pick up a leaf. That is actually the slime key. The game doesn't switch the sprites until after you finish the Richard side quest. And now, with some wall clipping, you can just smash this leaf into the keyhole from the wrong side, and the door opens.
Yeah, you jump in the air, and the keyhole unlocks. It's magic.
I love this game.
And in typical Legend of Zelda fashion, we throw a pot at a door. Is he... Oh, he might just frozen for a second. He's back now. They threw a pot at the door, opened the door, and he got inside.
Yep. You're also seeing Xander kill a whole bunch of enemies in this dungeon. There's a reason for that. This is the only dungeon where we will see the appearance of a drop called the Piece of Power. You kill 30 enemies without saving, quitting, or dying. It drops, and it gives you double attack and extra movement speed, which is useful both for going through the dungeon quickly and also doing an upcoming trick you're going to see Xander do here in another couple of rooms. Here's the Piece of Power.
Here's the Piece of Power. Notice he was being careful not to pick up the Guardian Acorn, as that would void.
Yeah. And here's that trick, just like that, Dodongo skip.
What mini-boss?
Yeah. Yeah, Piece of Power gives you just a little bit of extra distance off that tank, because if you land in those blocks without the Pegasus boots, you can very easily soft lock, and that you do not want to do that here. Yo, Xander showing off the super jump strat to get the dungeon key. I like it.
There's the boss key. So we are going to finish this dungeon while we're here.
Got to do the Dodongo skip one more time. No problem.
Easy.
Alright, meanwhile, Phantom
misses the opportunity to skip the keyhole, has to try it a second time, gets through, passes the swamp thing. Hey, piranha plants.
Yeah. Xander's already just 2 rooms away from the boss. Matt, meanwhile, getting himself his Dungeon 3 key, will be entering the dungeon shortly. Piece of Power does also make the Slime Eye boss an absolute joke. Once you split him in half, one hit on each, it lands on your sword, and it's already dead.
Yeah, this is the let's just say the not so much nightmare version of Cold Stare from Link to the Past. You don't have to, in case, get rid of its ice, you just slice it.
Xander, unfortunately, not quite getting his instrument cutscene skip. It's a frame-perfect trick. You saw him try to jump on the instrument. He has to pause the exact same frame that Link lands and grabs the instrument. If he doesn't, it doesn't... In this case, he pushed it too late, he grabs it. So, that's 20 seconds of time save he did not get.
Yeah, I was just going to say, as you said that, if he were to miss on every single one of those, that's 2 minutes plus added to your run.
Oh, no!
Make sure. Oh, no!
Matt grabbed the Guardian Acorn. He's going to have to take 3 hits to get rid of it because, like Cyclone said, Piece of Power does not drop if you have Guardian Acorn active. Matt, you gotta take hits, come on!
Take hits, Matt, come on. Does he forget that? Is he forgetting?
He might be waiting to take hits in a more convenient room.
Maybe.
Here we go.
He's down 2.5 hearts right now, so...
There we go. Alright, you should be good now.
Yeah.
Nice recovery.
There's
the Piece of Power. Speaking of taking damage, Xander is damaging himself down on the way to Animal Village. That's because he's about to do another very tricky little bomb trigger, taking a safety save. I like this move a lot, because this is probably the biggest soft lock potential point in the entire run, if things go wrong.
So, we're supposed to have Marin here, and we're going to make the game think we have Marin here.
The Walrus thinks that's Marin singing, and that's the only thing that matters.
You know, it helps to sound like a woman sometimes.
The big danger, though, is if you leave the screen too early after the Walrus falls in, the Walrus will respawn, but if you leave too late, when the rabbit comes out, the game will check for Marin again, and you can't do a bomb trigger in a cutscene, so the game will just get you stuck there.
And we're now in a cutscene situation, and Link cannot use anything, so we have to kill ourselves.
Alright, PhantomMat getting himself that second try Dodongo skip.
So now that Xander has committed suicide, he's going to go through, and the Walrus is still gone, so hey, we're good.
Alright, now he has to go into this room, fire around some arrows as if he's menacing nobody, because there is nobody here.
Yeah, normally you would find a land molus here. What land molus?
No, that's a legend. I've never heard of it. I've never seen a land molus in this room.
You've never seen it?
No.
Oh. I need to read those books again.
With that, Xander has his Dungeon 4 key right as Matt finishes up Slime Eye. Thankfully, that warp we got earlier after Dungeon 2 is going to... Oh, Matt also pausing a little bit too late there.
He needs to get those skips to keep pace, to at least start catching up here. As I said before, if you were to miss all of those, that's an extra 2 minutes plus. That's 2 minutes he needs right now, so he needs to be getting those instrument skips. Yeah,
it's about 20 seconds apiece. The thing is, though, we say that, but instrument cutscene skip is a genuinely very difficult trick. It is frame perfect.
Oh, yes.
Alright, Xander first to make it into Dungeon 4, the Angler's Tunnel. Not much to do in here aside from get the flipper, kill the boss, get out.
Yeah, it's nice when it's just that simple. Jump the 3-tile wide gap with the Pegasus boots.
Yep. Boots Feather is a good combination.
Very nice combination.
Xander about to tackle the first of what we call the dumb jumps right here. No problem, first try, easy every time.
How dumb.
Now has to do another ridiculous thing here, just kind of jump around a corner using clipping into the wall, gets it no problem.
How ridiculous is that?
Wall clips are just kind of one of the unsung heroes of the speedrun. You do them all the time, but you never really appreciate them too much unless you're super jumping.
Also, high cue ball. 4 hits and by cue ball.
Alright, Matt's setting up for his walrus skip as well. He's got it activated, now he just has to make sure to get off screen at the right time.
And there's the flipper, so now off to the boss. It looks like we may have lost Aaron for a second. He'll be back. There it is.
Yeah, Xander did give us a warning earlier on today that his internet is being a bit finicky today, so we were prepared for this. Just it's been generally well behaved, and we are thankful, but we might get some xander.ppt for a while.
You know, it's not bad to see that once in a while. Nice. It makes it easier to explain when he freezes.
Oh no, PhantomMat did get... He got the soft lock. He's going to have to do his walrus skip again.
No.
That's what we're saying, folks. Walrus skip is... You gotta be careful with it. There's a reason why in our last tournament we actually mandated a safety save for walrus skip.
Things are just all going wrong for PhantomMat today. He had the problem with the rupees. He had having to do the powder thing the second time. He had having the problem with the walrus. Things are just not going well for him today.
Meanwhile, Xander showing off instrument cutscene skip, getting it out of D4. Fun fact, since he actually got the Dungeon 4 instrument cutscene skip, he doesn't actually have to worry about the ghost, even though we will get the other backup for that. Because there's one thing ICS does that we didn't mention is it actually does not... some dungeons have, like, post-dungeon trigger events. Like, Dungeon 4 will have the ghost, and Dungeon 1 will have the Bow Wow getting kidnapped, and that's the only reason we can't ICS in Dungeon 1, because if Bow Wow never gets kidnapped, we can't even go into Dungeon 2.
Yeah, it makes the game... It's like a soft lock situation you create for yourself in that case. You have to have Bow Wow to get in. Yeah, the game is over. You are... Coconut Island will never be saved.
It flashes up one of those things about the threads of time being severed, like in friggin' Morrowind.
Yeah, the 2,000-year time loop has resumed.
All right, now Xander about to come up to one of our other favorite tricks. Rooster skip is a trick that is well known for causing people to cry in a lot of other categories, especially in DX, because it involves the hook shot and some very finicky jumping. Thankfully, the out-of-bound rules are different in this game, so we do a trick called Rooster Skip Skip, just involving some super jumps and walking on the ceiling. We'll see Xander do it here in just a moment.
This begs the question, if you skip a skip, is it really skipped?
Yes.
Oh.
I know what you're thinking. You're thinking of Rooster Skip Skip Skip.
Oh,
that's where you get the rooster.
Well, maybe I've been thinking of Rooster Skip 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 Skip.
What is that?
I think they all just start singing. I don't get it. Anyway, moving on. We are in the mountains right now. Xander is going to make his way to the top of the mountain. There it is.
Okay, I had to reboot my brain there for a moment.
Welcome back.
Time for some more mushroom shenanigans from Xander here, though. A little bit of mushroom mashing, get to the bottom of the screen, and jump across. Again, this is because we don't have the hook shot.
Now, this gap jumping that Xander is doing shows you how broken the mushroom is.
And how. Hey, you might be wondering, why are we going through the trouble of getting up to Dungeon 7 now if we're missing stuff like the hookshot that make it so much easier? Well, that's because the real reason we're up here is Dungeon 8, and Dungeon 7 is just the most convenient to get right now.
Also, you may have just noticed that the cutscene did not happen for Dungeon 7. Bow Wow was a hungry boy.
Yeah. Bow Wow can and will eat cutscenes. You have to do a specific setup, which Xander did, and then you hear that eating sound, and just walk off, come back in. The tower's open.
Yep, just nothing happened. And we're now going to magically cause the pillars to deconstruct themselves with no effort whatsoever.
Yeah, normally you're supposed to throw a giant metal ball at the pillars to break them, but it turns out, hey, pillars breaking is an event. You know what we can do with bombs and events? Yeah, that's right.
Now, that one actually did not go. That was the first time I hadn't seen that one go in a while when you come to that screen. But now we're going to get this one to go too. And look at that. The floor falls.
Yeah, Eagle's Tower is better as a 3-story building than a 4-story building anyway.
Yeah, it was too tall. It was It was against code. It was not a code. It was a coding requirement. It needs to be a 3-story building. So we just fixed that.
Alright, Xander's about to set up for the other dangerous trick. Well, not dangerous, but tricky trick of Dungeon 7. He's going to have to barely clip into this wall and then super jump onto a Goomba to bounce to the top. Unfortunately, this is completely dependent on what the Goomba decides to do. It sounds like he got it. He did.
He got it. Yeah, unfortunately we didn't see it, so we'll have to see when PhantomMat gets it on his side or when he does. So, but yeah, he literally just jumped off a Goomba and climbed up.
But now it's time for Evil Eagle.
Is he really evil?
Yeah, look at those eyebrows.
Ooh, yeah, that's evil.
Thankfully, bombs are very strong against Evil Eagle. 3 bombs and he's done, and we have a really good visual setup for the bomb timers. Just like that.
And that is that. So wait for the cutscene, the death cutscene to finish, and then leave the screen.
Alright, Matt about to face off against Anglerfish as well. Made his way through Dungeon 4 nice and quick.
And that door is now open, and hey, instrument.
No ICS for Xander, though.
That's another 20 seconds that PhantomMat will get back. He needs that desperately. And we get music.
Yeah, from the Organ of Evening Calm. Oh, Matt, again, pausing a little bit too late.
I am suddenly calm. What about you?
I'm never calm.
So, we're going to continue our traverse through the mountain at this point to level 8. Yes, we're going to level 8 before level 5.
There's a very, very important reason for that, which will become incredibly obvious once we get to it.
Yeah, once we actually have that reason found, it will show you just how broken this is. So we're going to run into someone up here, and Link manages to survive. And, oh, hi, Marin.
What a hero.
And the hero just leaves her sitting there. Or standing there, rather, bouncing. Hey, save me!
Leaving both Marin and my heart to die on the bridge. Why would you do this, Link?
R.I.P. to Crunchy's heart. Let's have an F in chat. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. So we're going to have another one of our magical mushroom super jumps here.
That was pretty quick, too. Yeah, that is Xander may look easy. That is the pit that kills runs. That is possibly the single most difficult trick in this entire run. Because it involves a really long jump at an angle, you have to clip into the wall, then you have to do a frame-perfect jump with the mushroom and the feather to get up there without falling. It's real tough.
And now we have a place that normally requires a mirror shield. Apparently not.
And first, some more bomb triggers, though.
Meanwhile,
it's funny how many of them involve music.
And there was a phone booth, which we're going to skip as well, because we don't need to talk to people. We don't have time for that. So, hi, Dragon. Or Turtle, whatever you are.
It's a turtle. This is Turtle Rock.
Yeah, Turtle Rock. That's true.
Alright, Xander getting his way into Dungeon 8. This is going to be a very short dungeon. You might remember it being very long casually. Thankfully, if you know which walls to bomb, and you know exactly what you're doing, it's a very short one.
This is the last dungeon in the game, so if you're playing casually and it's your first time playing, yeah, this dungeon will take you a long time to do. Without question, because you're trying to figure out where you need to go, you're trying to get a feel for the place. Meanwhile, we're just going to, push this block down, out of the way, in a weird fashion.
Matt having a little bit of trouble with his rooster skip, but he does get it on his way to Dungeon 7. Xander, meanwhile, on his way to get the dungeon item, the true prize of Dungeon 8.
The true prize of the game, I would say, at this point.
It's hard to say. There are so many really powerful items in this game, not all of them in intended ways.
Oh, this one, I would say, is very powerful.
Oh, yeah. First things first, some super jumps to get us to skip Blano, the mini-boss, and there it is, the magic rod. Not the fire rod, the magic rod, because what it does can only be described as magical.
Well, I think the game still refers to it as the fire rod. So in other words, we're going to heat things up very, very nicely right now with this magical magic.
I think I could swear it calls it the magic rod, but I don't have my manual I don't have my manual handy.
I may be wrong. That's fine.
All right, here we go. Xander about to show off what it does. There should have been a cue ball here, but you saw him.
Wait.
Yeah, you saw Matt shoot the rod and pull up a pause screen at the same time, causing a weird sound. It turns out, if you fire the magic rod and pause at the same frame, the game spawns infinite magic blasts, and that's a sprite for each one. The game doesn't know what to do with all these sprites, so when the next screen loads, it just has to start deloading some. And the first thing it gets rid of, well, mini-bosses, enemies, like needless items on screen.
Yeah, needless items like, you know, a boss.
Alright, now, let's talk for a little bit about the out-of-bounds rules, because you saw Xander do something there. That does not actually count as a wrong warp. When he went onto the cue ball screen, he opened up a save input, which pushed him down another screen. That is just that's actually a map overflow, so he's still in Dungeon 8 as far as the game is concerned. It's just, it loads a maps tile from somewhere else, which just happens to have the level 2 power bracelet in it. But he is not actually in Dungeon 7, even though it looks like it, so it does not count as a wrong warp.
That is indeed one of the more confusing things in regards to the wrong warp rule, because you would think if you're in a different dungeon, that would be considered, you know, a violation of the rules. But in this case, because it's considered the same area, it fits.
Yeah, it's the same reason actually that on your way to Dungeon 7, there's those two tunnels that look like they're on the same screen. They're actually not. They're actually stored in different places in memory, so you can't actually super jump to get down there early, because that would be a wrong warp.
Right.
It's a bit weird how the game stores locations in memory, so...
Yeah, it looks like it's one thing, but it's actually another. Really weird.
Ooh, Matt changing colors to be red, probably to reflect his current emotions, I would think.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's probably a little upset about the situation right now. Either that or chat in his chat channel might have complained about the purple.
But he does get himself that Goomba Surf on his way up to fight Evil Eagle. Well, Xander shows us why the Magic Rod is really good against Armos Knight. D6 key.
And Angry Bird is angry.
It is important to mention, though, that the reason why we do that thing in D8 is because the level 2 power bracelet is an item that if you have it, the game doesn't cause the ghost after D4 to spawn, and we don't want him to spawn because you can't enter dungeons when the ghost is following you. Now, the funny thing is, since Xander got Dungeon 4 ICS, he actually didn't have to do that, but it's still faster to do it, because it puts you in a room that's convenient to finish Dungeon 8 faster.
It's also worth knowing that we don't actually, quote-unquote, finish Dungeon 8 while we're here the first time. We are going to be coming back.
Yo, PhantomMat getting himself that ICS out of Dungeon 7.
He needed that badly.
Alright, Xander about to show off another fun trick. You may have seen the Dungeon 6 cutscene get eaten by Bow Wow. Well, it turns out you can also just deload the cutscene like you do sprites using the magic rod. Just like that.
Cutscene? What cutscene? And it suddenly gets eerily quiet.
That's just how it is sometimes. The game's like,
Yeah.
whoa, I can't believe you did that. I worked so hard on it.
How dare you do that to our game?
Yeah. Now, Dungeon 6 is actually a pretty cool dungeon normally, but in the speedrun, if Dungeon 7 was bomb triggers the dungeon, Dungeon 6 is deloading the dungeon.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of that here.
Yeah, there should have been a tile puzzle 2 rooms ago, there should have been wizrobes in that previous room. None of those things are there because of the magic rod. Xander already about to get himself the Nightmare Key. Matt, meanwhile, coming up on the room that kills runs. Oh, it's... I cannot emphasize enough how difficult this room actually is. Oh... He's got to get the mushroom cutscene to activate before he falls in the pit. Now he's just gonna have to spam a bunch of mushrooms till he gets down there. and now just has to get that frame-perfect jump.
There now.
Oh no!
Oh!
Xander meanwhile has despawned the hint tablet and doing a nice little unclipped super jump there to get around that block. Didn't want to do the flock clip, giving us some variety in our movement. Oh, there we go. Nicely done, Matt.
So the room that kills runs, TM, strikes again.
Yeah, there is another strat you can do there with a shovel, but not everyone likes to do it.
And we're going to deload the boss, because who wants to fight the boss?
We sure don't. Oh! That was a real good ICS right there. Xander just firing on all cylinders right now, playing real well.
He except for a couple ICSs, he hasn't really missed anything. He's having a really clean run here. Whereas on PhantomMat's side, as I said earlier, things are just going wrong for him today. I think I've had like 3 or 4 things that have gone wrong for him that went right for Xander, and that's really the story of this run so far.
Yeah, and he also was playing with fire a little bit there. You saw him get Bow Wow to eat that Moblin, which is fine. But the problem is, if that Moblin had fired an arrow, PhantomMat would have been in trouble. Bomb triggers don't work if an arrow gets fired on screen. We're not sure why, but that's just how it is.
So PhantomMat is now in level 8, and decidedly behind, 2 levels behind at this point, as Xander is now going through level 5.
Opting to deload this next room, I think I see a lot of folks generally opt to just go in there and slash the bats and the enemies. It's faster if you manage to kill the enemies faster, but I think it's kind of a preferential thing.
Yeah, it depends on your interest level in your skill level in that room, whether you feel comfortable doing that room or not.
Alright, sounds like Xander got himself that key, so he's going to be saving loading out of here.
Yeah, I did hear a key grab.
Yeah, now the big gimmick in Dungeon 5 is fighting Master Stalfos to get the hookshot, but even though we can use the hookshot, we don't, strictly speaking, need it. The only thing we need it for is fighting the D5 boss, but we have the magic rod, so we're just going to skip Master Stalfos.
Yeah, who's Master Stalfos? I don't see him here, do you?
He must have been hiding in that treasure chest. I understand.
He must... Maybe he's on lunch break. I don't know. Maybe he just decided, you know what, I'll come back in 15 minutes. We'll see if he's here then. And that was when we were...
And now it's time for another dumb jump. See how Xander handles it. Uses the wall bounce setup. Doesn't get the distance. And this is a 4-tile jump. This is a pretty challenging jump to get right. There we go! Oh, no!
He's down 3 hearts now. There it is. Getting that jump.
Yeah, getting that nightmare key right at the same time that Matt gets himself the magic rod. Things are really starting to heat up.
But so now that we have the nightmare key for level 5, all that's left is to quote-unquote fight the boss.
Well, deal with the boss, I suppose.
Yeah, what boss? Ooh, nice jump by the Cheep Cheep. Almost got him.
Xander apparently not happy with his D5 performance, if Chad is to be believed.
Well,
nice jump across that pit.
If you want to even this race a little bit, he has to have a bad D5, you know? It makes it a little more exciting.
Yeah. I will say, though, one thing you may have noticed, which is a downside to deloading bosses, is that you don't get the heart container from beating them. So this number of hearts is the maximum they will be getting for the rest of the run. And you also don't get the refill. Refills become pretty important, because they're only really going to have one chance to refill their health before the Windfish Egg, and that's the fairy that Xander's going to be getting here in just a moment before finishing off D8 and D2. So health does become a concern in this category.
Yeah, especially when you get to this point in the run, this is where health starts to become a concern. So he's going to come out of the water, and we're going to go finish up the dungeons that we've already entered but have yet to finish. And once we do that, we can go wake up somebody.
Good. Evanescence has been sleeping for way too long.
Yeah, it's been a long, long nap.
Yeah, Xander going to be taking full advantage of those built-in warp holes. Thankfully, the tree right next to this particular one has a fairy in it, and there's his final refill. With any luck, he'll be able to keep full hearts all the way to the windfish egg.
And he's now in the other side of the dungeon. And look at that, boss key. Boss door.
The full health dream is dead.
Well, you know, you need to have a lava bath. It's good for the complexion.
I mean, I suppose if your complexion is gone, it's hard to do anything bad for it.
Yeah, exactly. And, what boss?
And it's time for the drums. He got the ICS.
Darn, I like hearing the drums. Oh well.
Unfortunately, Xander not giving us the 2-for-1 deal and giving us both ICS and Wang Boys, so he gets the golf clap, as opposed to the full-on excited clap.
There's mine. So back to Dungeon 2, and we're going to finish things off here. The nice thing about having the advanced weaponry is we don't have to wait for Bow Wow to eat the plant anymore. We can just go in whenever we want to.
True enough. What we're saying is Bow Wow has the same properties as the magic rod. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, Bow Wow is incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
No idea. Such a good boy. As PhantomMat goes through the leggiest area in the game.
And here's the most challenging room in Dungeon 2. Nice use of bomb arrows to kill the enemies in the correct order. That Stalfos can really get in the way. No trouble for Xander, though.
And if you do those in the wrong order, you do have to come back and do that room again.
Yeah. And also, having Pegasus boots does let us skip this annoying puzzle here, just bounce off the wall, and now time for the Dungeon 2 boss, which is normally a pretty long boss. Thankfully, Magic Rod exists.
Boss is dead. Done.
Oh, might have been a little bit too early there. Yep,
Yeah,
unfortunate.
too early. Well, we get one more chance to hear music before we hear the entire melody, so enjoy.
Yeah, unfortunately it's only the conch shell, but hey, you do what you can.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted the drums, but... Oh well, you take what you get.
Yeah. Alright, Matt making his way through Dungeon 6, getting rid of that tile puzzle, about to get rid of some whiz robes. He should be on his way to Dungeon 5 in just a little bit. Making good time now.
Meanwhile, over on the right side, we are on our way to the final destination, which is the egg. And there is some mechanics about this egg that we will talk about in a moment. But before we talk about that, we have to, first of all, climb this really long staircase and listen to some music. Please enjoy. And with that, go ahead.
So just like that, the egg is open.
And it's just amazing how it just creates a doorway in the egg, and you're supposed to actually go inside this scrambled monstrosity. Down you go into the darkness, and there is actually a set path here. Your game does not expect you to actually just come here without going to the library and finding the book to get the path first. But if you don't do that, dev trick, there's a path here.
Yeah, it has to have a default state before it sets it when you read the book, so we just happen to know what that is.
Yeah, they didn't expect you to actually figure this out.
Alright, Xander getting the bomb trigger to skip the big dialogue, now setting up for a quick kill on the blob. This is super important, because if you miss this, you need powder to hurt the blob. And we don't have powder right now.
Yeah, we're kind of decided we don't need that anymore.
But now Aghanim, this is the real question mark of the fight.
Yeah, we could get infinite blue balls all day, and PhantomMat has all the time to catch up. So,
although Xander does seem to know the setup for a manip. We did recently discover a manip to guarantee not getting any blue balls. And I think Xander might be getting it because he hasn't gotten any yet. Perfect.
0 blue balls.
Yeah, I need to learn that manip as well because oh no! He gets the manip, but Moldorm gets away from him.
Yeah. Not a huge loss. He's well ahead at this point. He should be fine, so he can take a fight or two and he should be fine. The health is going to come into play here, though. That's the only possible dilemma. And down to 3.5 hearts for the next phase, which is, hey, Ganon. And that's the Link to the Past variety, Shadow Ganon.
Alright. And now here comes the final phase, Deathel. 16 arrows to the eye when he decides to open it. But those arms do 1 heart of damage, and those hitboxes are active even on the death cutscene, so he's not out of it until Deathel is completely gone from the screen.
Yeah, this means he can only take 2 hits, so he has to be careful with these jumps to make sure he does not hit these arms, or he will take, at this point, some pretty heavy damage.
Yeah, he's playing it safe, going for the 2 jump to skip the arms instead of just doing the single jump.
Yeah, which is definitely the safe way to play it.
Almost dead.
He chanced that one, and there it is. He should be fine. So just to clarify, the boss will now explode, and a staircase will appear. Time will be after you climb the staircase, and the screen fades to white. And that's time. And I'll go ahead with the official time. The official SRL time is 46 minutes and 43 seconds. And Xander, no, probably not a surprise, has at least improved his race PB by a full minute. So congratulations to him for that.
So let's see if Xander wants to come in and say a few words. In the meantime, oh no! Matt accidentally spawning Master Stalfos, not despawning it. So he had to deal with him. That's an unfortunate time loss for him here in D5. Now on his way to do himself a dumb jump here in Dungeon 5. His health's looking good though. He doesn't have to worry about anything with these enemies. But here we go.
Jumps over the bloopers in true Mario fashion.
And first try dumb jump. Nice. Well done.
Nice. Xander did miss that one. That was one of the few mistakes he made in this run.
Speaking of Xander, GG and congratulations.
GG.
Thank you. That was pretty bad, to be honest, but hey. Really?
That was bad in your opinion?
It was bad.
It was a bit over a minute behind your PB by the looks of it, so that was still pretty solid. It's a pretty solid race run.
I mean, overall, it wasn't terrible, but there were just really bad parts. Although I have to say, I was 30 seconds behind PB going into D4, and then I was 1 second ahead leaving D4.
Oh, nice.
Wow, nice.
That was something.
The one real mistake I noticed today was level 5. He had some trouble with that one dumb jump that PhantomMat just did on the first try.
Oh, yeah.
Were you watching the race at the same time as you were?
I wasn't.
The thing that really broke this race wide open was right at the very beginning of the race. PhantomMat missed the powder on the first try.
Oh, so that's what happened. I saw a lot of no's in chat.
Yeah, he had to find 10 more rupees.
Yeah, we were literally almost crying for him because he had to go get those rupees, and they were not spawning for him very nicely at all the second time around. So it became a case of, come on, you gotta get that money, let's go, come on. And he finally got it and got a second try, but it just looked that he was slightly off, and yeah, the game agreed he was slightly off.
Oh yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, you never like to see
also, I was gonna say something. Right. I stopped a billion times in Armo's maze. I bet you're wondering why. Well, it seems that my Windows needs to be activated. You know? I knew it was gonna happen.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Make sure-
I've been getting the pop-up for a couple days, and I haven't been bothered to legally activate my Windows, so I can't disable the pop-up.
Make sure to open your windows, ladies and gentlemen.
So basically, what we're saying is that Matt's curse in this time amounted to him calling Microsoft and saying, "Hey, this guy hasn't activated his Windows. You should tell him about it."
Oh, if he really cursed me, he would have made that pop up during Walrus Skip.
Oh God.
Oh,
That's what I was afraid of.
I think he tried and it backfired because he soft lock on Walrus Skip.
Yeah, twice, right?
Yeah, I think it was twice.
Yeah, that was
I
terrible.
thought it was once. Maybe it was twice.
I saw someone in chat say it was twice, but hey,
Ah.
you're watching.
Yeah, I only saw it once, but if someone else noticed it happening twice, that could very well be it. Oh God, I have trouble with the super jump. I'm not sure why. It's nice to know I'm not alone in that.
And he gets in the staircase. He's going to now, quote unquote, fight. Oh, he is gonna. Uh-oh.
Well, time for Hothead.
Hey, it's the Hyatt today, ladies and gentlemen.
There's a boss here?
I didn't know there was a boss. I've never seen this boss before.
A chatty boss.
He definitely needs to quiet down, pipe down. Maybe he just did that for chat to say, hey, if you don't use the fire rod, magic rod, you see
Wang,
this.
boys!
So good demonstration of that there are actually bosses there. And we're getting our drums. PhantomMat must have heard me.
Truly,
Oh,
truly.
I'm now 3 for 3 on pit walk in this tournament.
Yeah, I saw that.
I intend to get it every race.
So, when's a pit walk tutorial coming there, Xander?
It's in the guide.
It is?
The LADX guide, at least.
Oh.
But it's the same thing.
I have the guide open. I think it is in there.
Oh.
And PhantomMat gonna do his final tour of level 2.
I think he forgot where he was going.
Yeah, it looked like he was lost for a second.
So, Xander, I've been hearing some talk in the... But with this being Swiss and all, so apparently your win today means that you have a pretty strong chance of facing off against Vlak next round. How do you feel about that?
Bad.
Should be a great race, you know?
Oh, no doubt. But... I think a lot of folks feel Vlak is definitely one of the names to watch in this tournament for taking the whole thing.
Yep.
Well, in that case, someone will have to face him in the final as well, so this will not be it. Even if you do face Black now, you could still face him again in the final if you get there.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, in the finals, you're like supposed to have good runners facing each other, and I wouldn't even get there. That's a given. But I feel like in the Swiss stage, that shouldn't be the case. But I've expressed my concerns about that. Let's watch the race.
Swiss is... It's got its ups and its downs. Oh gosh, Matt, having to face off against the...
No.
Oh, well...
So, not just showing off the bosses that we normally don't get to see because it's a couple dungeons behind, so... Yeah, there's actually a genie here.
I didn't think it was actually possible for Link's sword swing to sound angry, but here we are.
No, I think Matt is just playing it extremely safe. He needs the hearts.
Is he trying to...
Well then!
I didn't know you could actually do that!
Unknown tech, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, then. And an ICS for good measure.
So he has 2 extra hearts, but at least he didn't get the heart piece of shame, TM.
I have a sneaking suspicion he may have gotten the owl cutscene here.
So he's gonna despawn. Nope, he despawned the cutscene
Guess
here,
not.
and we're gonna get to open the windfish for the second time today.
Nice.
In the backdrop of a lava river and an angry orange sunset, the windfish egg opens for the second time.
Here we go. Matt about to tackle the nightmare.
And welcome to the quote-unquote maze.
Round and round the passageways of the windfish's egg. No problem. Almost as if he knows exactly where he's going.
Yeah, it's almost like, you know, there was a developer intended path here.
Alright. Matt knows what he's doing with a quick kill setup.
Will he get it?
Yes, he will.
Yes.
Now it's time for Aghanim. He's trying to get lined up with the right spot for the manip, it looks like.
Zap.
Apparently not.
Ooh.
So, no minute for Matt. He's gonna have to just do it the old-fashioned way, hope for the best. One more. Got it.
Yeah.
Now let's see if he can keep Moldrum under control here. A little bit too early on that.
Oh, same issue.
Yeah, it's possible with a spin jump and some well-timed sword slashes to keep Moldrum locked down in its starting spot. It's a lot faster.
Yeah, the thing that happened to me there is instead of slashing, spin slashing, I got a frame-perfect normal sword slash.
Oh no! So much angry mashing. Alright, Deathle time. 21 arrows, plenty of room to spare, 6 hearts, he's in good shape. Now, if only Deathle will just open up.
Yeah, that's a huge if.
Yeah, and there's one. Excuse me. I think he's at 12? One more, I think. Come on, Death will open up. There it is.
And there's the final hit. And those arms are way out of the reach, so no sudden final hit here.
Angry buzzing.
The anger has subsided as the screen
And-
fades to white, and that ends the run.
PhantomMat is done with an official SRL time of 59 minutes and 31 seconds, still cutting the hour. GG's to Matt.
And that's with showing off a couple extra bosses there, too. So GG's.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's see if he wants to come in and say a few words. He may not. Only time will tell.
Yeah, we'll know momentarily if he wishes to come in.
Oh, there
In the
he is.
meantime, it's probably In the meantime, it's probably worth noting that we are going to go to the 4th round of the Swiss next week. We do have 2 players at a 3-0 standing, so we can talk about the standings a little bit more. I think PhantomMat is in here now.
That he is. Matt, GG's, and I'm so sorry.
Congrats on your world record.
Okay, I think it's fixed now.
Oh, what was that?
I think that summarizes your run pretty well, doesn't it?
That summarizes my weekend, not just my run.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Oh my god. So, was there any part that you guys particularly enjoyed?
We were a little upset for you on the powder.
Yeah, what happened there, which started all of this bull off, was normally I walk all the way to him. I didn't.
So your timing was off.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I didn't
Oh,
want to
no.
say, but it did look like you had missed the powder. It looked like you might have dropped it early when I saw the crane cam, and I thought, no, that is not on target.
I mean,
I didn't
it's
wanna
a little
say
bit hard
it,
to tell
but
with the
then
palette.
So if
Yeah.
Wolfos is still watching, I didn't say wow to you. I said wow because I saw that coming.
We noticed you changed your palette in the middle of the race as well. Was that a sign of your anger?
No, it's a bunch of whiners in chat going, I don't like his color palette, it's too dark. So I figured
Frenchie,
next long cutscene I'd get, I'd change it.
Frenchie, I think I did say that, didn't I?
Did you?
I think I did say that. Well, that might have been people in chat whining.
I'm sad you didn't change to inverted.
Look, I'm not a scumbag. I'm not that kind of awful person to go from super dark to black and white. I thought the palette looked nice.
I thought the red
And that's
was
really
better.
what matters.
Yeah, that's my opinion, not yours, Spice.
Yeah, it's runner's preference. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. Yeah.
You can make a worse palette. Like, I don't know, Technicolor Lo-Fi. Yeah, I said it.
Or you could just make it, all one color. That would be kind of unplayable, though.
That would be unpleasant.
Yeah.
So many people getting thrown under the bus right now.
Look, I'm incredibly tired, man. I'm surprised that was under an hour. I'm astounded. By the way, did I get world record yet? Or should I just leave the timer running? Because these splits are useless now.
You know what? You got a 37. Not even
Right.
Black's gonna beat that.
Very healthy 37. Let's see the Frenchman beat that.
PhantomMat calling out the entire country of France.
Woo.
Did you just do those last 2 bosses just to show them off since you knew it was so far behind?
No. So I saw way earlier, back when I was running towards D6. Let me get the exact thing.
Okay.
I saw. Where are you? I want to say it was Bamboo and Spice. Spice specifically said the only room I want to do the way God intended is doing his hothead. I was like, all right, I can do that.
Okay.
Let me go for Wang while I'm at it too.
And
But-
you got that quality side wang.
But the genie was just me accidentally holding up.
Oh no.
Oh,
Whoops.
God. Stupid genie. But you did show us that you can actually kill the second form with Magic Rod. I did not know that. I learned something new.
Yeah, you learn something new every day.
That's true.
And the game doesn't expect you to have the magic rod there, so it didn't think to check for it.
And I have a friend who just tuned in going, what happened?
What didn't
What went
happen?
wrong?
That's a very good question. Let's.
Although, I will say one thing. I'm very proud of myself. I got the D7 shack jump.
You did.
That
You
felt
did.
nice.
You
It's the
did.
first time I've ever done that.
Proud.
So, Xander, what was that you were saying about having the worst luck?
Hey, you cursed yourself.
Oh no, this is going on beforehand.
Oh no.
Xander was telling us that the Windows decided to try to curse him.
Yeah.
Look, it would be easy if you just,
Oh no, you
verified your windows. That's it.
Oh yeah, you saw. Right, yeah.
I'm
That
gonna take
requires,
these.
paying.
Then pay the money. No, I don't want to save my splits. No, I want to save my layout.
Don't want to save anything.
Like, I actually didn't know how the splits would take. I couldn't close my splits earlier because I was using live split to be in the race. So I was like, oh no, it's just gonna keep on ticking up.
Yeah, I was really confused when you were forfeiting and undunning yourself a bunch.
The third set of forfeit and rejoin was because I clicked it, but it went to rejoin instead of forfeit, so it kicked me out. Then it kicked me back in, then out.
Well then.
Technology.
There's a lot of that in about a minute and a half there.
Yeah. And I think I had it the second time, but for some reason it wouldn't let me hold left. So I got stuck on the screen. I think my controller disconnected for a small moment.
Never a dull moment.
No, never a dull moment here in Phantom Land. So,
Is there anything else that's just kind of like you're dying to say? Because it seems like you got a lot to say about this run. It feels like.
can I take it behind the barn? Xander, you want a rematch right now?
You think you'll win?
Yeah, I'll just bring in a ringer. His name is Black.
Phantom Black. It's fine.
How about next week?
Yeah. Let's see you
Let's
get a
do
world record holder. Because, I mean, what was that you said? You were only a little bit off a world record?
No, I was 3 minutes off.
Close enough. Remember, he got like a 45 in his last race. All he needs is a little curse. Come on, Xander. You've seen enough.
The commentator's curse of blessing.
Yeah, Spice is right. I just got a 37. What you gonna do?
Oh yeah, he's right.
Just broke world record over my knee.
Oh my god.
I wonder, what do my splits say now? I'm curious to see. I really hope I don't see like the sum of best being a 44. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to beat a 1 second Enter D1.
I mean, not with that attitude, you won't.
Okay, it's still the one before. Thank goodness. What really sucks is I got a 10-second gold on my first split when I was practicing before this. And now that's gone.
Aww.
The saddest of days.
Oh well.
Oh no.
Oh well.
There will be other golds.
Looks like I'm not long for this tournament, guys. I hope you enjoyed my presence while you could.
I mean, you got a lot further to fall. I'm still holding down the bottom.
Nah, but you can redeem yourself, Crunchy. I believe.
And there is still next week.
Yes.
Speaking of which, we do have 2 runners, Alos and Sayasi, who are both at 3-0. We're gonna probably see them face each other next week. We have multiple runners at 2-1: Spice Father, Node Kaju, Black SR, Green Tunic, and Bamboo Shadow, some others in there as well. Obviously, Xander's going to join that group. So we're going to have some good matchups next week between these runners. And, of course, there are other runners at 1 and 2, 0 and 3 who are going to, I'm not going to name names, who are going to race next week as well. We'll see them fight it out as well to try to survive and get into the final spots here.
Speaking of which, we should probably put in those numbers now so we can have our matchups for next week.
We should.
Yeah. Yeah, let me just end the stream so that way I don't crash everything.
Did you want us to hold on while we get some of those matchups, or do you want to?
Yeah, we could.
Because we can hold the airways for a moment if we need to. We can talk about the upcoming speed gaming schedule while you work on that.
Go for it. Xander, could you do me a favor?
Well, I'll do it, yeah.
DM me the times that we just had.
Alright. I can also just put it in, because it's our race anyway.
Oh, you can? Go for it.
Let's see.
Yeah, he can just put it in, I believe, because PhantomMat is one of the tournament admins, and he would have the ability to do that. So he could literally do that right now if he wants to. Anyway, while they figure that out, we see if we can get some more information for you guys who are still watching with us. I'll just cover the speed gaming schedule of what's going on right now. There is some Final Fantasy PSP version, so not the normal NES version, the PSP Total Chaos version tournament going on over on Speed Gaming 4 right now. That race, I think it's about an hour and a half or something like that, so that one should still be going on. There's going to be more of that at 7:30 tonight, and that's on the main channel. Before that, we're going to have Luigi's Mansion No Out of Bounds at 6 o'clock. That's also on the main channel, so 2 races coming up on the main channel tonight. There's going to be the Link to the Past Randomizer Open weekly race going on. This happens every week as part of the daily race series. It's the every week, 5:30 Sunday. A bunch of people gather and race an open seed and see who is best for the week. And that's at 5:30 on Speed Gaming 2 Eastern Time. So in about an hour and a half from now. Later on the same channel, Speed Gaming 2, there's some Mega Man 2 randomizer, and there's also a Zelda 1 randomizer weekly race, not yet assigned. It could go to Speed Gaming Prime or possibly even Speed Gaming 3. So we'll see where that ends up later. Check your listings for that later for those watching live. If you are watching on YouTube, what will follow, as this is the final race of week 3 in this tournament, what will follow on our YouTube playlist, for those of you watching there, is the next race in this tournament, which is one of the first races of week 4 in that case. So stay tuned for that if you are watching on YouTube. And thank you for watching on YouTube as well. Feel free to join us here at twitch.tv/speedgaming or speedgaming 2 through 6 sometime. Make sure to follow those channels as well for those of you watching on Twitch so you can catch all the races when they come on. And do we have any update on the standings?
Oh yeah, you guys ready?
Go ahead.
So next week we got Mashy versus Crunchy Lex. We got Mchan338 versus Final Flame. We got Dragon CO versus JC87. We got Mighty Mouth versus White Wolfos. We got Bamboo Shadow versus this poor sap. Spice Father versus Theralep and Marsupial. We got Green Tunic versus No Kaju. We got Xander versus Vlak. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. And Aros versus Say in a matchup to take down the French.
Hollows versus Say, that's going to be an interesting match right there.
Yeah, so we have 1 versus 4 and 2 versus 3 this last round for the leaderboards.
And
the people who are in here.
And that could repeat in the brackets depending on what happens. You never know.
A grudge match.
Yeah, grudge match. We're gonna have grudge matches in the brackets. This is gonna get juicy, ladies and gentlemen. You may want to watch next week.
So Bamboo gets a free win. That's nice to know.
Any last thoughts for anyone before we call it?
Remember, kids, don't play with curses.
Remember old Uncle PhantomMat and learn from his mistakes.
Learn from Xander and activate your windows.
And remember, it's your color palette and it's your opinion only.
God, we're just dripping with life lessons this week.
What else we got? Don't forget to pay your taxes.
No, it's not pay your taxes. Don't forget to collect your tax refund.
Well, that depends on if you have a tax refund.
Yeah.
You have to pay your taxes. You don't have to get a refund.
Insert thinking emoji. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Any last thoughts either on the race or anything else?
Good night, everybody. Good night, sweet prince.
Walk alone.
And as our broadcast tower on the Telltale Heights fades yet again until the next race, I want you to say thank you, everyone in chat, for watching. If it wasn't for you guys being here, we wouldn't have anything to do except for chat among ourselves and laugh. So thank you for being here to watch and enjoy this with us. And we look forward to seeing you next week for week number 4. See you then. I wish you all a great afternoon. Make sure to come back for all those other events I mentioned today if you are watching live as well. We'll probably be going over to Speed Gaming 4 right after this to watch the rest of that Final Fantasy. But if not, then other than that, watch the other races tonight if you're interested in any of those as well. We will see you next week for more Link's Awakening. Have a great afternoon. Crunchy Lex, you're going to get the final word, so goodbye, everybody.
Have yourselves a good one.